Escape vector plotted. Coordinates locked. Launch. Welcome to the Escape Vector Podcast. I'm your host. This is part 2 and the finale of our actual play of the Cloud Empress RPG scenario, The Last Voyage of the Bean Barge. If you have not listened to part 1, go back to that episode. We'll be here when you return. Alright, let's jump back into the action. Last time on The Escape Vector presents The Last Voyage of the Bean Barge.
From then on, my name has been the Monster. I've spent almost all my magic. It's taken its toll. If I am to end, I want to end with a bang. I have a head full of rage and a pocket full of chalk.
Yeah, Duke Tears, I'm a Lordling. I was graduating from Cloud City University.
So yeah, my character's name is Edge. He is a full-grown sellsword. With his demeanor, he's sort of short-tempered and short-spoken. He's not necessarily quick with his words, just with his blades.
You immediately get this overwhelming smell of blood and death. You get a sense that there's something not right here. There's a woman who is lying down on the couch. Looks like she's half dead. Before boarding the Bean Barge, Sippa really sustained a pretty bad injury and was just sick of Lace humiliating her and decided to take that opportunity here on the Bean Barge to just slit her throat and silence her once and for all. Genmo is nowhere to be seen. She has these doubts about this person.
So I think he heads downstairs.
Just before you're heading down the stairs, you hear this buzzing and fluttering rapidly approach. Actually, a giant cicada lands near the front sail, so just kind of to the right of where you are. I'll tell you what it looks like. An oversized cicada or moth, grasshopper being. But it has this other thing going on. On part of its carapace, its shell, near kind of the torso, just below its insectoid head, is a haunting human face that's kind of sticking out.
Jeez.
How much stress do you have?
I've got 1 stress right now.
You have 1 stress. You don't panic here. You were fearful before, but you just found kind of this resolve or willpower within yourself. How do you respond to this?
My first instinct is realizing that I am disarmed, that I'm weaponless.
Mm-hmm.
So I turn to Menfa and I ask kind of sheepishly, you don't happen to have a sword on you, do you?
Yeah, so she tells you, she has this staff, but assures you that she's going to try to pacify this imago creature.
I'm very actively trying to put her between me and the creature. Hearing this, I feel well, okay, let's...
she shuffles over.
Yeah, let's see.
And starts humming and singing to this thing. And yeah, it just kind of sits there next to the sail, idle.
I think it's a good opportunity to, at least at minimum, tell Lord Sippa what's going on.
Okay, so you're going to head down. We're going to check back with the Monster and Duke. The Monster, you stepped away for a little bit. Duke was able to pry open the escape pod where Sippa's sister Lace's body is. There's a slash mark on the neck. Duke picked up the sword. That's where we're at.
All right. So quick question before we move and do anything else. She was dead for more than 10 minutes, right? She's been dead a while.
That's right.
Okay, that's good. So seeing this and knowing that I can't do anything about it, I moved to the lower deck, and I guess that's where I'd be. That's where I'd be standing when Edge comes down from the upper deck. When? Because I don't know. My character doesn't know what happened. and I didn't take a look outside to see what was happening. But when that juvenile imago actually landed on the ship, it's got to have a bit of mass, right? We must have felt something. It must have felt like something,
Yeah,
maybe
it's
not hit, but you might have felt something landed on the ship. It might have made a difference there.
it's still like an oversized bug. It's larger than like yourselves, right?
Yeah.
But it's still kind of like the younger version
Mhm.
of these creatures. So I'll say that maybe there was a bit of like a dip. Maybe if it brushed up against like the front sail or something. So yeah, we could say that like there's some nudge.
Okay. So as I see Edge coming down the stairs, I turn to him and I ask him, what's happening?
I answer Monster pretty straightforward and just say, dude, there's a Imago upstairs. My intention is to kind of arm myself. So I'd like to go check on the Lordling, to check on her, also ask if she has a weapon. But I fill Monster in on what's going on. And I also let him know that the priestess and I had a brief conversation. And she told me a little bit about Genmo, and she has a suspicion that she's acting weird. I mentioned that I don't know these people, but that this might be information that is useful for us. And I know before you didn't want much to do with me, but I feel like we're going to be locked into battle or something here soon together.
All right. We have to do something. I have to find the first mate and tell him and make sure that he knows that we have an imago on board. So, Warden, do I have any sense of where Onion could be?
I mean, the last place you saw them was in the galley. You're on the same deck. You could go check there really quickly. Edge, by the way, your weapons are all kind of like stored in a locker on the mechanical deck. So not too far from the escape pods.
Does Edge know this? Is Edge aware where Onion put his stuff?
He said below deck.
Sure.
So
Is there any way, like a communication? I'm looking for like a general
Right.
PA.
there's only it's a one-way intercom from the bridge to
Okay.
the rest of
Okay.
the.
Then I'm going to the galley.
So are you running over or just
No, I'm definitely hurrying. That's
you're
for sure.
hurrying over? Okay.
Yeah.
So you swing the door open. Onion
Yeah.
isn't there.
God, where could he be? So I was downstairs
Mhm.
and on the mechanical deck. I guess going back up, I didn't notice Onion going down, so I'm either thinking he's got to be in the observation deck or the upper deck.
Mm.
Ruling out the observation deck because I know that the Lord Sippa is there.
Mhm.
I elect to go to the upper deck and try to reach the bridge.
Right. And your character is quite smart, right?
Yeah.
So, okay, you reason that. So you're going to head up to the upper deck. Great. So Edge, you're on your way down to the mechanical deck. Duke, are you still hanging around that area?
Just before I leave, I do two quick things.
Mhm.
Firstly, I take a bit of stock, and I draw a square on the wall of the capsule, the one who contains the Lord Lace body.
Okay.
So I draw a rectangle on the wall of the escape pod. The second quick thing I do is I activate the mechanism of that pod, just to be rid of the corpse. I don't care for corpses. I want it gone.
Okay. And so why did you what was the drawing for? And what did you draw with?
You will see later with chalk.
Ah, okay. So you took out chalk and you drew a rectangle.
Exactly.
On the pod's hatch? Is that right?
Inside the pod.
Inside the pod.
On the wall.
And so you find a way to launch this pod, that's right?
Well, I figure it must be quite easy. It must be like a big red button or something like that.
So the control panel was smashed quite a lot.
Well, I do it from the inside if I must. So I just push on it and I go out.
So you find a way to kind of like dislodge it from the ship. So it leaves the ship and it starts kind of like falling down.
Exactly what I want.
Sounds good. So Edge, you come down and you see that happen. You also notice like there's the lockbox that's not too far from you.
I'm curious and a little jolted by what I just witnessed, but the top of my mind is the fact that there's a Mago on the upper deck.
Mhm.
So my instinct is to go for the lockbox and pry it open, I suppose.
You start kind of like gaining a sense of like the locking mechanism on it. It just swings open. It's unlocked.
Oh yeah. Thank you. Amazing.
Wow. Don't thank you just yet, because as you're like as it opens, you realize that it's empty.
No.
Your pistol is not there anymore.
No. I turn to the Duke and I give him a very suspicious look. I know better than to make some accusatory, inflammatory remarks.
just to them.
Well, you notice that I now have a sword at my hip.
And a crowbar.
Well, yeah, but as he seems to be afraid, and as he seems to be looking for a weapon, I just offer him the crowbar. You think you need that, buddy?
I said, yes, thank you. And I think you're going to need what you have as well, because there's an Imago upstairs, and it's...
what? Do I know what an Imago is?
I'd say that you would, yeah. I think
Okay.
everyone here, as a Lordling, as a Sellsword, as a mage, would know about at least like what an Imago is.
Okay, so is that an intelligent creature, or is it just big and strong?
They're mysterious. Some
Mysterious,
folks,
okay.
some folks like ascribe intelligence to them. Others don't. Others think they're a force of nature.
Okay.
Some people even think they have some magic to them. So
That's right.
But they're bad news, right?
For many people, yes.
And for me,
for us in this game, definitely.
Mhm.
okay. So okay, let's go back upstairs.
Boy.
So do you both head upstairs?
Yeah.
I'll say that the crowbar, even though it's like an improvised weapon, we'll say that it deals like 1d10 damage. We'll get back to the monster who has already reached the upper deck. Monster, you see this Imago creature. I'll have you make a panic check yourself. So how much stress do you have right now?
I don't have any stress.
Ah, okay, you're not stressed. So don't bother then. Maybe then just a fear save. So roll a d100 and roll under your fear.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough. Gonna go with my lucky die, and I fail.
Add a stress to your sheet. You see this thing, and yeah, you get a little kind of like shaken about it, but not enough where you kind of like lose your shit completely. The old woman is kind of like humming, like a bit of like a lullaby kind of thing. They're like humming softly to this creature that's still kind of just like standing still. The bridge is right on the other side of this creature, so to the right. There are the two plasteel doors.
Do I feel there's a chance I could get through, or is it blocking my way completely?
You're kind of crossing near it, but maybe if you hesitate for like a few moments, the woman will kind of turn to you and you see like her wooden mask, but like warmly just kind of tells you it'll be okay. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So I slowly inch my way through that part of the deck to try to reach the bridge.
You try the doors. They're not opening.
Okay. Is there any like communication station or something, or way to call inside?
No.
Is there a hatch I can maybe look inside from there?
There are no windows. Just like a windowless door.
Okay. I bang on the door.
So you bang on the door, it goes unanswered. And maybe as you do that, Duke and Edge, where were you heading?
Well, I've heard the word Imago, and I didn't like it, so I'm going right there.
So everyone is finding themselves on the upper deck, or Edge, did you have Somewhere else you wanted to go?
I think so. I did. My first instinct was maybe to check on the Lordling, but then I realized, you know what, she's chilling and healing herself, so maybe best to investigate this and report to her after we've done whatever it is we have to do here.
You arrive. Duke, you're seeing this creature for the first time. How much stress do you have?
I have 1.
Make a fear test. Or a fear save.
Success.
Success. Okay. So you keep yourself together when you see this creature. Now you can see, the woman that's kind of humming and soothing the imago creature that's at the sail. There's the monster who's at the door to the bridge that's trying to like open it and is like knocking and banging on the door. What do you guys do?
If I understand correctly, the imago is in kind of a trance in front of the lady, right?
That's right.
Do I feel like I can get it out of the trance?
You can just like disturb it.
Yeah, something like that. It's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's try something here. I go behind the creature. I take a piece of chalk and I draw a big large square on the ground.
Big square on the ground. Okay.
Yeah. And by the way, this completes the spell called Floor Door.
Okay.
And then I take my sword and I just hit the creature just to innervate it, for it to assess my presence and to incite it of walking into the square.
So make a heart check to cast the spell, and then we'll see if.
Okay. Well, I guess if I miss, I will not do the following actions. I have 66 and it's a miss. Is that a critical miss?
Sorry, you rolled a 66 over your.
Yeah, precisely.
Ooh. Okay, yes, that's a critical fail. So let's see. So we're gonna process the miscast. So I'm gonna roll a d10. Okay, so I got a 6. The effect occurs, but a random target is affected. So
that would be funny.
This is gonna get really, really crazy.
Yeah, indeed.
Okay, so we're gonna keep that in mind, but I'm also gonna have you, since you critically failed, take a stress first off for also failing. So add a stress.
So.
And then I'm gonna roll panic for you because I have the table open. 2. How much stress do you have?
I have 2.
You have 2? If it's greater than your current stress, you succeed. Okay, so it's equal to. So you're going to panic.
Okay.
And so...
Bye, guys.
When you panic, you become arrogant. You lose 1 stress, but you feel less inclined to ask for help from your traveling companions. This fades the next time you fail a check or save.
Well, at this point, I'm not even sure I have traveling companions, so...
That's right. Okay. Well, so you lose a stress. You weren't really asking for people's help anyways before this, so...
And I think I've been arrogant enough for now.
That's right. Okay, so that happened. Now let's process this random target. We'll say that... How many do we have here? Other people near you? We have 1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, I think you can count Stello, even though you don't want to.
Well, there's more people, but I don't think it's kind of, I'd say that's like out of range.
This is turning into a shit show. This is fantastic.
I'm gonna roll a d4. All right.
See who wins the lottery.
We'll have the Imago as 1, Mempha as 2, Edge as 3, and Monster as 4.
Oh no.
4.
Yes. Sorry.
Was that you, Edge? No, was that Monster?
I think it was Monster. Yeah.
I think it was the Monster.
Okay, so this was the door spell, right?
Yeah.
So you
Door.
randomly hit your target. That's nice.
Okay.
And well, if I understood the spell correctly,
Mhm.
you now must be in the escape pod.
That's descending. Okay, so this went horribly wrong. Monster, you are watching him do this thing. Duke says, like, curses under his breath. And when you see that, like, you just kind of, like, your environment changes completely. And you're now suddenly in this, on the inside of this spherical chamber. This is the escape pod that also has a dead body in it and bloodied sheets. And, like,
So it's me?
it's you. That's
I
inside
thought
this,
it was the monster. Okay, so it's me. The monster. Okay, I
the
get it.
monster, like yourself.
Me.
You are the monster.
That's true. I thought it was like the Imago. Oh, that's so funny.
So you're falling. Maybe what we can do is we can, in a while, like, have you kind of like make a new character or something.
That's funny.
Okay, so you're kind of out for the moment. You poke this thing, Duke, and it reacts. It gets out of its trance, and it turns towards you. And Mempha kind of like shrieks and says, like, "What are you doing? How could you? You fool!" And then get ready. It's going to try to attack you.
You're not talking about Mempha, right? You're talking about the Imago?
Sorry, the Imago.
Well, okay, my blade is out, and let's do this the old-fashioned.
As you draw your blade, you take a stress as you prepare for combat here.
And does Edge, like, I think Edge would pretty quickly perk up and realize, like, my friend who gave me the crowbar, he's about to engage. I'm going to help. This is what I'm here for.
That's right. If you're going to draw your weapon?
Yeah, I'll draw the crowbar. I'll take a stress.
Okay.
Did you say the melee count, like, speed is what we'd use for the melee?
That's right. Yeah, for both of you, you'd be using speed.
While we're falling,
Yes.
while I'm falling, I want to make a panic check.
You're in an escape pod. You're the safer of us.
That's right. Okay. Whatever, I fail. I realize I'm falling, and that's it.
It also depends where you're dropping, though, right? Who knows?
Yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah, I'll say make a character, and we'll kind of like have you be a stowaway or something.
Okay, I'll make one quick.
Okay, great. The Imago is going to rear up and make an attack with its horn. You're the one that poked it, Duke. It's going to make an attack on you.
Be my guest.
Hold that. Okay. And what are you doing? Are you attacking with your saber?
Oh yeah, that's definitely what I would do.
Okay.
If I can dodge the attack instead, I'd rather do that. But whatever I can do.
On your turn, you can move and attack. Like, you can do two actions. So you can do two actions, and if those two actions are like moving out of the way, moving out of like its range for like one round of combat, that works. Or if you want to attack, that also works. Up to you. You and Edge will kind of make split-second decisions on what you'll do, and we'll just see like what happens based on your rolls.
Okay, you know what? As I have dueling skill, I will treat this as a dueling. So I'm trying to guess at which side the Imago is going to attack me, and I'm going to fend on the other way and try to move out of its way while taking a hit on him.
Okay, so you can roll a speed check with advantage because you have that skill, dueling.
Perfect.
And tell me if it's under your.
Oh, not only is it under, it's a great success. 22.
Okay, great. So that's a crit success. Edge, what are you doing?
I'm also gonna go in with the crowbar. I'm gonna aim for the face that I see.
Okay.
And as a kind of action, I'm aware that the priestess beside me is still doing her thing, and so I'm gonna make sure that she's straddled between me and the Imaga. or imago. So I'm gonna after striking, kind of get right back beside her.
Roll a speed test. Do you have any skills that could grant you advantage?
I mean, I'm proficient in blades. I think it might be a stretch to call the crowbar a blade. Maybe it's a little sharp.
It might be a bit of a
But-
stretch.
Yeah, that's cool. No, otherwise, no, I don't think so.
Okay,
So speed check to see
Yep.
if it wins.
that's right. So roll under your speed.
Nar. Oh my god, just 3 over 51. So no, I don't land.
Okay, so what happens here is the imago tries to drive its horn into Duke, and Duke, you kind of like you sidestep it, and you're able to slash it with your saber. You analyzed it, you saw it coming, your dueling experience kicked in. Roll for damage, please.
My own, right? So
That's right.
2d10.
That's right.
That would be 7.
Nice. Okay. You go through and you can tell that you've like slashed through its armor, through its carapace, and have effectively like destroyed its armor. And you deal 2 wounds to it. It shakes, falls over a little bit to its side before like getting back up. Edge runs over with the crowbar, tries to hit, is kind of maybe overwhelmed by like the scene, like the action that's already happening, and can't get a shot on. Misses and then kind of retreats a little bit beside Mempha. What do you do again?
I'd say I'll play the advantage. I already hit him. It's shaking now, so I'm going for it. I'm closing in, and I want to make sure I hit him as much as I can.
You know what? Sorry. I actually have to do something really quickly. It will try to move out of the way, but you can follow it to try to attack it. So it'll move like a little bit out of your range. If you wish, you can try to like follow it to attack it, but it's up to you. I should have mentioned that.
Yeah, I do that. I don't want to take any chance for it to attack someone else, so I move forward and
Go ahead.
I try to finish it. So the same routine.
That's right. Speed check, please. And with
Speed check.
dueling, you can roll the D100 twice.
So it's again a success, but it's not a critical success.
Sounds good. Okay, Edge, what are you doing?
I saw that there was that advantage. I saw that the crack in the carapace was pretty substantial. So I figure I see this opportunity to shove the crowbar in there and then crank it up to maybe do some severe damage on it or even remove it from the rest of its body. So I move forward to initiate that.
Please give me a speed check.
Yes, success.
Nice.
Not a huge success, just a regular success. And then 1d10. And wait, no, for this, that's the lowest one, eh? If you land a perfect, like the logo there.
Oh, if you land the... Yeah, like it goes from 1 to 10. So the logo would be 10. I believe,
okay,
right?
so yeah, 10. I do 10 damage then.
Okay, yeah. Max damage on the... You said crowbar, right?
With the crowbar, yeah.
Nice.
Wow, okay. And how about you, Duke?
I'll go for my damage.
That's right.
That would be 8.
Okay, very nice. So you chase this thing, it like prepares to like be hit by you. You slash it and wound it really deeply. But as you do so, it also succeeded its combat or its speed check. So it digs its horn into you at the same time. 12 damage. Got a 4 and an 8. And so how much health do you have? I think characters have 10 health. You have 10 health and I think 3 wounds, is that right?
Yeah, exactly. So if we take 10 damage, then we take a wound and the damage clears. And if we take another 10 damage, we take another wound.
That's
and I
right.
think we can take up to 3 wounds before we die.
Maybe to make it simple, we'll say that you have 1 wound, and then when you get your 3rd wound, you die. Okay, so just write 1 wound on the table. Okay, and I'll roll to see what wound you receive. This thing, it digs into you, and you end up getting a wound that makes you panic. So take 1 stress, and then also make a panic check. And so
is panic a fear test?
no, I'll roll it for you since I have the table here. So how much stress do you have now after taking that 1 stress?
That's 3.
3? Okay. Okay, I got 2. First of all, is greater than your... So you end up getting the same thing that you got last time. Yeah, you become arrogant again.
Yet again?
Yeah, yet again.
I will soon be unsufferable.
So you lose a stress because from this panic result. So anyways, you get into this, you panic a bit. This thing is wounded pretty deeply. Edge, you come in with the crowbar, smash it like on the head, maybe like you said the human shaped head? Was that right? So you smash it and you kind of like finish this thing off, and it just kind of like crumples to the floor. Some of its legs twitching.
Can I quickly start harvesting chalk, or do I have to wait for that?
On this age of Imago, you actually need to like process corpse a certain way, and you need like I think specialized equipment and time. Older ones, you're able to harvest some chalk from them that's like been kind of like formed. So the chalk in this one hasn't been like formed enough. You see your, or not your companion, but your allies supposedly.
Brother in arms.
Yeah,
absolutely.
that's right. Who's just like wounded quite a bit. I'll just check in with Monster. How are you doing? Do you have something for us?
I created the character quickly. I would now have a courier flying a damaged copter through an imago, a cloud of imagos. So that would make sense. I could possibly, I don't know if the warden would be interested, but I could crash on the ship and get off my copter and get into the action and maybe lend a hand. But I am cursed, and I was in the process of finding out what my curse would be, so I have to roll a d10.
Okay, so we'll come back to you.
Yep.
What are Duke and Edge doing? This creature just like fell before you.
I look over to Menfa and I try to gauge her reaction, and I'm wondering how she's feeling right now about what just happened.
Mempha is not happy. She starts kind of like pointing her finger at Duke, maybe is kind of like shaking, and is kind of like cursing him a little bit for attacking a idle imago.
I tell her,
beautiful creature.
Menfa, in my village, I've been told ever since I was young, you see one of those, you run, and if you fight, you fight.
She's listening to you, but you get a sense that she's not quite considering what you're saying. She nods solemnly, but maybe you get a sense that like with her experience or her like outlook, she feels like you don't have the whole picture.
Totally.
As that happens, you can see like these other floating like airships, and these are kind of like battle barges that are they're like floating ships that have like guns on them, like these cannons. They're fighting off like these like flocks of imago that are kind of like going around, and it's like a large flock, like just a concentration of them kind of floating near these battle barges in the clouds. And these battle barges are like losing. So some of them like go up in flames. It's like chaos out there, and they're not too far away from you. In that moment, you also feel the airship kind of like start like turning, and like changing course like slightly. Mempha is kind of like looking on in horror at these battle barges like firing their cannons, and is kind of like muttering to herself that they're only making it worse. They're aggravating them. What are they doing? And with that, let's have an introduction from our new player character.
All right. Well, all of a sudden, out of nowhere seems to appear a damaged Thopter that crashes on the deck, on the upper deck of the Bean Barge, and comes out of it the character. May I introduce you, Han Loner, who's a courier.
Okay.
So yeah, and I basically come out of it, and I move towards any imagos. If I have a rage for imagos right now, so
Okay, what do you look like? You're a courier. What are you wearing?
I am actually wearing a pilot suit. So I'm a Thopter pilot. I'm holding a dagger. My curse, and I was lucky, is actually making me look much younger than I actually am. And I'm also wearing an imago whistle. So I come out of my ship and I start blowing the whistle and running towards anything that looks like an imago, trying to kill it.
So what does the imago whistle do?
I think
What's
it
the
calls
signature?
imagos.
Oh, well.
I think it calls to your. Let me see.
Wait, so why are you calling imago?
You want more of them?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't say. That's funny.
Dang, we'll say that it attracts the attention of imago.
Yeah,
Maybe
that's what I
like
think.
it will distract it or like bring it towards you. It'll lure it towards you.
Yeah, that's the
Okay.
idea. Yeah.
Sounds good.
First thing I do when I get on the deck is I
Yeah.
try to avoid walking onto square chalk drawings.
That's right.
I want to avoid that at all costs.
We'll say that when you crash, though, you end up hitting the rear sail, and
Oh
we'll
shit.
say that deals 1 damage to it. Not in great shape, that rear sail. It's like barely hanging on, and so you're running out, blowing this whistle, and which is pretty insensitive, given the context, and maybe by coincidence, who knows? It could be you, could be the battle barge that's shooting on the imago, who knows? But you can see a group of imago that are coming towards the ship, and maybe one of you can kind of like spot it go like towards like the underside of the ship.
Okay.
And that was a pretty big one, actually. Maybe on the outside of the mechanical deck.
Okay, so I notice it, and I'm pretty used to assessing where they're going in flight since I'm a pilot. So I shout as loud as I can, "It's going for the front engine!"
Okay, how does everyone react? I think everyone should maybe take a stress at this crash landing first off.
I'm a little shaken, but at the same time, curious and feeling galvanized by the sheer confidence of this person that just crashed onto our ship. So
I mean, picture it. It's like the Thopter crashed and slid on the deck a little bit, and I come out jumping as if nothing happened, jumping out of it, fighting, and blowing the whistle, and just
absolutely, I feel like there's this Chuck Norris type before me, and I feel for whatever reason, whatever he says, I will do. So if he wants to fight, I will fight. I am ready to participate. Yeah.
I rushed down the stairs to try to reach the engine room.
I'll follow.
Yeah, so do I.
Well, do you head down there? You know what? Nenfa is saying a prayer over the corpse of the creature. Okay, so everyone's gonna like rush down to the mechanical deck. Okay.
Oh wait, no,
sorry.
no, I don't. So I called that out, and I think my reflex is to try to get into the bridge. Yeah.
So your character, what is your reasoning for going to the bridge?
To
Like,
see if there's any controls, if I can steer the ship or do some evasive action.
Okay.
Because I seem to notice nothing's happening with the ship much. It's turning a little bit. so I have a feeling something happened in the bridge.
Okay.
So I try to get to the bridge, and I go as fast as I can.
Cool. Do you share that with anyone, or do you kind of
No.
just let everyone go
No,
ahead?
no. My goal was to send everybody over to the front engine room, just in case there is an imago there to fight it.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to make sure that somebody's steering the ship, and if I can do anything to prevent the imago from getting to us, then I'll try to do it.
Great. They're going to be making their way down. You're going to try to get to this door. Yeah. What do you do to try to?
I try to open it, but as I said, I go as fast as I can. So
Yeah. So you're struggling to like open it. It's not opening.
okay. Well, can I smash it?
You can try to smash it, but it's like a metal door. So you would need something strong to like smash or
Like a
move it.
crowbar?
Like a crowbar. That's not.
Yeah, that might be right.
Or like
an explosive.
like a hound catcher.
Like a hound catcher. That's right.
So I have a little bit of knowledge of ships, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any other way to get in, like a hatch or something I could know about, or I could suspect
There are
and go check?
windows. So if you wanted to take the risk,
Yeah.
and if you're not too traumatized from your previous character, you could try to skirt around like the edge of the ship to try to like get to like where the window is and smash through the window.
Okay, I'm gonna do that because
So
I have a feeling you only live 3 times. So
okay. So while you're kind of preparing yourself for that, I'll have you. Oh boy, this is risky. Think a bit like how you're gonna do this. If you're just gonna try to go for it and like hang on without any help, that's up to you, and we'll have you
of
make a
course not.
roll. You want some time to think about it, and I'll check on the other ones?
Yeah, give me a
Okay.
second. I'll see what I have that could be useful.
Perfect. Duke and Edge, you've made it down to the mechanical deck. You know that the front engine is to the right here, down the corridor. As you peer down the corridor, you don't see the imago yet. The front engine is still kind of like humming, and it's still like operating. You can feel like some like warmth coming from the room, and it's like the engine is kind of like sparking a little bit, but that's about it. You can maybe feel or hear some kind of like banging on the outside coming from that end, but nothing quite yet. What do you guys do?
Since I don't see anything directly, I think at this point, since I've put it off for a little bit, it would be a good time to maybe go back upstairs actually, to check on the Lordling, to check on Sippa, and at least tell her what's going on so she can either participate or get to safety. Do I happen to find a revolver on the ground as I'm going upstairs?
Duke, what do you do while Edge goes back up the stairs to the lower deck?
Well, the motor thing is not that interesting to me, so I guess I'll just head back up and see whether I can throw the imago body out of the deck or help in any other means.
Hand Loner,
Yeah.
what did you come up with?
Well, I looked at my sheet and I noticed that I have the tinkering skill. So my thinking is, can I find anything on my crash software that could help me either open that door, pry it open, or make something that could help me navigate, or you just go across the side of the ship and open a window more securely,
Oh yeah, you probably have wires. Bunch of
or something
wire.
that could act like as a pry bar or something, as a lever to try to pry open the door. That would be safer if I see anything. So that's what I would
Yeah.
do. But I would want to make that test or that
Yeah.
action as safe as possible.
That's right. Okay, well, I think you might be able to find a way to like wrap a wire and like wrap something like around you, and so like be able to have like a rope kind of thing to help
Yeah.
you go across.
Yeah, I think the safest. I'm gonna try to find a pipe or something that I could use like a lever to try to pry the door open.
Okay, so you're gonna find a pipe that's maybe been like crushed a little bit, and maybe you're gonna try to like slide it into the door. Okay, actually, I'll have you go kind of like look for this thing and take a few moments to do that.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
But as you're doing that, you see a greenish yellow cloud that's kind of like approaching the vessel. And from your experience as a pilot, you know that that's like a poison cloud, or you're pretty sure that's like a poison cloud that you're kind of steering directly into. You're using like your kind of experience and judge that you might have like a minute to find cover before you're exposed to this cloud on this upper deck. Do you want to try to like find this thing quickly and so maybe like by doing a speed check? Or do you want to like take cover and let the cloud pass?
I don't think I have time, so yeah, I'm gonna do a speed check on this.
Roll under your speed, please.
I succeed.
So you're able to rush and go through the wreckage, and you find this like pipe that you can use to pry open the door. You run back over to the door, you stick the thing in. How strong is your character? What's your strength?
36.
36? Give me a speed check, please. Or sorry, a strength check.
I fail.
So you fail. The cloud is quickly approaching. Do you stay or do you
No,
take
no,
cover?
no. I rushed to the stairs and I checked if I can close the hatch or something.
You also notice that Mempha was still like distracted. Do you
Screw her.
wonder about the cloud?
Imago lover. Screw her.
Okay,
I don't care.
So you just rush down and take cover.
And I try to close the hatch to make sure that there's no poison.
Okay, so Mempha like shuffles and you hear bang on the hatch, and the poison cloud kind of like goes over. What are the other folks doing as you've reached the lower deck? You were making your way to the observation room, I recall.
Yeah, I want to go talk to Sipa for sure.
Okay. Duke, was that where you were headed to?
Well, I was more thinking of going to the upper deck, but if I come there, if I go there and I see Handloner coming back and closing the hatch, I didn't change my mind.
So Edge, you've gone to check in on Sipa. What would you like to do?
Just letting her know what just kind of happened. And then I'm trying to gauge her reaction. Was she aware that this was a possibility, that Imago were going to be on this trip? Or that, I guess it's the Century of the Brood.
Yeah, she's aware, and she also kind of like shares the rumors about the Century Brood emerging many years earlier than it should have, mysteriously. It's something that doesn't happen. It's an anomaly. She thanks you though for coming in and checking on her and reporting, and wants you to keep kind of making sure that the ship stays up.
Knowing how interested she is in my safety and the safety of the ship, I make a cheeky little remark about the use for an upgrade on my weapon. I gesture toward my crowbar. Does she have a saber on her that she's willing to give up, or has she seen my revolver? I would love to find my revolver.
She has not seen your revolver, and she reminds you about the Houndcatcher weapon that she bequeathed to that helpful medicine man that saved her life.
No, splat as they are. That's okay. So at that
do you
point,
tell her like what happened to that person and the Houndcatcher?
Yeah,
She doesn't know. Okay. She gasps. But yeah, she's shocked and just kind of lies down, actually.
I get the sense that she feels safe and she doesn't really need or want to be disturbed. So I'll go back into the main
Especially not
room.
now.
Yeah. Yeah, now that her heirloom has been taken away. Yeah, so I'll go back into the lower deck. And at this point, I'm really interested in finding Onion and really trying to talk to them and see if we can get a command of the situation.
So you leave the observation deck. The others, Han and Duke, are kind of gathered in the cargo hold as well, near these stairs. You all kind of like intersect. Do you guys like share like what you want to do?
Well, I don't even know what I want to do, so no, I keep it to myself.
Okay, yeah, I do share. I want to reach the bridge. I need help reaching the bridge. Can anybody help me?
I look at my crowbar and say, you know what, I might be able to assist. It might not be with finesse, but we might be able to do the job.
Okay,
Okay.
and then I asked, it's really just us, I think, in this lower deck, right?
That's right.
Okay, so no onion, no Genmo,
Mm-mm.
no one else to be seen. Okay. I asked Duke if he can look at those crates and see if there's anything that could be helpful to us.
Downstairs.
Yeah,
I can have a
Here
look,
in
but
the
it
lower
will
deck?
take time.
yeah. It's just to keep you busy and so that you don't teleport me into another dimension again. And then I go back up on the upper deck to try to get in the bridge, to get inside the bridge.
You do a bit of like mental calculation and are quite sure, maybe even like look out like one of like the windows to check to see if the poison cloud is likely to have passed. So you have a good sense that it has. Do you still go to the upper deck?
Yeah.
So Edge, do you follow?
I do. Yeah. I was meant
So-
to do it.
You guys try to open the hatch. There's
We
a
have
bit
to-
of resistance, but maybe the two of you pushing are able to open the hatch, and
Push her body to the side.
a corpse just kind of like flops over.
Rip.
Memphis done.
Yeah, she got what she deserved.
Cicada lover. So I will say too, so I'm one of my skills, I'm also proficient in thopter piloting. Is there a way that the two of us would be able to put our minds together to really figure out how these doors could operate, or some sort of lock mechanism that we would be able to find by just talking about it that we could uncover?
A what mechanism? Sorry.
Like a lock mechanism or like some sort of circuitry that we would find.
Applying kind of your general aero engineering kind of stuff. Maybe you can do that. So when you go to the door and use the crowbar to open it, I'll say that the both of you together, maybe choose one of the two that will be making a strength check. The stronger of the two.
I think we're the same. I mean, I got 38.
I'll let you do the check.
Okay, and I'll let you do it with advantage. So
Roll twice?
Yeah, roll the D100. Keep note of that result.
Hey, the first one, 36.
Very good.
Hey, yo.
Good show.
Okay, so with both of you kind of looking at this thing and maybe strategizing, you get really good like position. You get the crowbar in a really good position, and you're able to pry this door open. When the door kind of like falls to the side, you peer into the bridge. In the center, a like steering wheel for like this thing. There's a bunch of like support tubes. There's a bunch of like wires all over the place, and they're kind of like coming from the ceiling, and they're plugged into this kind of like frail looking person that you assume is Captain Stello, who's kind of like hunched over like the steering wheel. You also find Onion, who's there, and there's also Genmo, who has a revolver.
Yes.
And is pointed to Stello's head.
Oh my god.
And everybody kind of like turns and like looks to the two that just opened this door and just sort of like freeze. Genmo looks at you, gestures at the revolver, and Edge, you recognize this as your revolver.
Absolutely, I do. I'm ready to fight.
And is really like gesturing menacingly at like Stello. And he tells you, we've got a change of plans.
I look at Onion and I, in a very sort of terse way, say, like, what the fuck is going on?
Onion's bruised and has and is just like freaking out.
Oh my god.
Okay, what's the distance between us and Genmo?
I'll say that you are close range. You can spend one out of your two actions to get next to Genmo.
My idea is I'm holding a dagger, so I want to rush at him I'm charging him basically, and if I can, I want to start stabbing him. Because from
And I
what I'm
think
seeing, he's actually holding a gun to the captain's head.
if Genmo's distracted or really paying attention to Han while doing that, I would love to also approach and then take my crowbar and like hit his wrists.
One thing that complicates this, you hear more fluttering, and another imago lands on the top deck. Not directly behind you, but maybe like near the rear sail. Are you still going to proceed with your plan?
I think so for me because I need my gun, especially now that I've noticed there's a full grown or a bigger imago.
That's right. This is a large one. This is a full grown one. And same thing for you, Han. Sounds good. Okay, so roll your speed tests, please.
I failed.
Yeah, so did I.
Let's see. You had a dagger. Do you have blades, Han? Is a skill?
Yes.
You do.
Skill,
Okay.
yes.
So roll another time,
Oh, nice. Thank you.
and hopefully that's a better result.
Yeah, it's a critical success.
Dang.
I rolled 22.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. So you both rush towards Genmo. Genmo gets like a little distracted by this, like maybe he didn't expect you to do that, and so tries to like fire off a single shot, misses, and it ends up maybe like hitting like equipment like right in front of him, and like sparks fly, and like he's like a little like distracted. Edge, you failed your check, right? Is that what happened?
I did, yeah.
Okay,
Must
so
have
you,
mattered,
you
but-
go and like you try to like swing with the crowbar, you miss, and you maybe like hit the floor. But Han, you're able to get Genmo with your dagger. You're going like to stab, right?
Yep.
All right. And because they're distracted, you end up getting them. Actually, sorry, you didn't roll for damage, did you?
No, I didn't.
Okay, please roll for damage. Let's see how this goes,
So
because
that's
they're
1d10.
wearing armor.
Yeah, okay. 8.
8, okay. So you're able to pierce their armor, the armor that they're wearing, and deal 2 wounds. Because it's you got a critical success there. Ah, he drops the gun.
Oh,
First off.
yeah, he does.
He drops the gun and like staggers backwards a little bit. Now, Duke, what are you doing in this time?
Well,
You maybe
I'm-
felt like the airship rattle a little bit, like more than once. Like you felt it like maybe a bump, and then you felt it also kind of like rattle after a few moments.
So I guess I'm not that surprised with the rattling, since we half expected to see an imago in the mechanical deck.
Mm.
So I just continue on my way, and
Oh, you know what? I remember now. You were searching these cargo containers for like something useful.
yeah, I remember that, but I'm not remembering exactly what would be useful. But
Mhm.
well, being arrogant and everything, I just go down, and I'm a bit frustrated being given the less worthy of the task. So I just kind of open all the compartments and throw everything on the ground, and then decide if it's useful or not.
Sure. You use your handy saber to like pry open some of these boxes here in the cargo hold. There's a bunch of supplies that spill out, food, water, things like that.
If Chalk happens to find to fall down, just tell me, please.
Yeah, I'll say that you find here. You find 4 pieces of chalk
Oh,
that were maybe like hidden among some of the normal supplies. Maybe some of this was being like smuggled. I'd say that like that's kind of like what you find in that time. That's interesting. Is there anything else on your mind? Are you going to continue doing this, or?
oh no! If it's worthless, well, I found chalk, so it's not completely worthless. But if it's just junk, I go back upstairs.
Edge, I forgot. You take a stress for failing.
Okay.
Imago is going to like head over and start munching actually on Mempha.
Oh no.
Duke, you're trying to go to the upper deck. You get to the top of the stairs and you see this creature like feeding on a dead corpse. What do you do? And maybe you, at that time, you hear a gunshot.
Okay. Well, I don't have time to worry about the gunshots right now. So, is it possible for me to like take it from behind?
Are you trying to get us an explicit rating?
Well, okay.
Just kidding.
No, I'm trying to surprise it.
So
I'm trying to take it on all 6.
I mean, you can like try to like sneak behind it if you want while it's like munching. Does that
Well,
sound right?
it seems quite busy at the time, right? It's
Mhm.
eating and I guess not too much taking care of everything else.
Mhm.
Well, my goal is to simply I want to put my blade in his back.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll say for you to sneak around it. That's I think the closest thing would be like a speed test,
Okay.
so that you don't alert it.
Okay, if I have sports as a skill, can this gives
Yes.
me advantage?
Sure.
So yes, it's a success.
So now you've successfully kind of like sneaked around it. You want to try to attack it, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so since it's distracted and you snuck behind it, go ahead and just roll your damage.
Damage.
Mhm.
Perfect. So 2d10 for 16.
Wow. Okay. So you pierce its armor, or its carapace from the rear, and you said you did 16.
16, yeah.
So you wound it, and
I tried to keep the sword in place. I know it will jiggle and try to escape, but I tried to keep the sword in place, so maybe hurting it more or preventing it from moving or anything.
Okay, interesting. And you're gonna stay holding on to that sword, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to do that, yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Let's go back to the group in the bridge. Genmo's staggered. What are Edge and Han doing?
I'm jumping for my gun.
Yeah, and I keep going at Genmo.
As you're kind of distracting Genmo, Edge, you're gonna go for the gun and pick it up.
Happy to use it now if I still have another action.
Actually, you know what? It fell not too far from where you were. So we can say that you can pick it up and you can use it.
And what's the check for the revolver? Stat
Revolver is a speed check.
Yeah, I'll aim at Genmo. I don't exactly know my intentions, but I'm just sort of impassioned by the thrill of battle here, and I'm going to aim at Genmo.
Nice. And you know what? I realized I made a mistake earlier. I think the saber is an exception, but I think other melee weapons use a strength check. So I'll try to keep that in the back of my mind. For a revolver, it's a speed check to fire. You'll need to make a check because you have Han that's also like approaching and rushing Genmo. So you're going to try to do this so that you target the right person.
Yep. So I got, it was 1. So yeah, I connect. The shot connects.
Dang, okay.
Yeah, 1d10 per shot.
Okay.
I'll just take one shot.
Roll damage.
I got 5.
Keep that in mind. Now, Han,
I'm stabbing.
so I think blades use speed, but others use strength. Okay, so yeah, do a speed test, please.
And I have blades. Can I roll with an advantage?
That's right. Yes, please.
I failed both.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So you fail. Genmo succeeds. Okay, so you try to stab Genmo. Genmo like was kind of staggering back, but then kind of gets into like a proper like fighting stance and punches you. A good left hook. And these bandaged hands like connect with your face. It's not just bandaged wraps. You feel like something metal and hard, like hit you in the face. You take just 2 damage.
Okay. And what's the purpose of the armor in this case? Because I have 2 armor.
Oh, okay, so
Does that soak it?
no, whenever you take damage equal to or greater than your armor, it breaks. So you take 0 damage, but your armor doesn't provide you
Okay, so I've
protection
lost my armor.
anymore. So your armor is now 0 until it's repaired. Edge, you line up your shot. You just watched Han get decked in the face, big time. Maybe he goes like swinging and like hits like the wall, but it's now cleared the way. You line up your shot with your revolver, and you pull the trigger, and you hit Genmo. You hit him good, and he's wounded again.
Nice.
Staggers backwards, plants a hand on a side panel.
How many wounds has he got?
I'm not telling you.
3 now.
Oh, interesting. He panics.
Yeah, and he's got like 3 wounds. So he shouldn't be
Listen,
having a hard time
it's
breathing.
this mysterious person. He's looking really rough right now. Let's go back to Duke and the Imago. Duke, you've jammed your saber into the Imago's back. It's no longer distracted by feasting on Mempha. It's going to try to like swing around. It's like jerking around, trying to like throw you off or
It's an
do
Imago
something.
rodeo.
That's right. What do you want to do?
Well, my main purpose was to either keep him there or maybe for it to hurt itself. But maybe I will just let it go if he's too strong for me.
I'll tell you that even though it doesn't turn around to like look at you, like it's not facing you, it's facing away from you. Let's see. So you're trying to hold on to it, right? And are you spending your turn to do that?
Well, as long as he can turn, he won't be able to hurt me that much. So I'm trying to stick it there. I don't want him to move, or if he moves with the sword inside of him, I guess it will hurt him.
Okay.
So I'm doing whatever I can for him not to move, but I don't know if I can do that.
Okay. So it's going to tried to shake you off, and it succeeded its role. So it kind of like throws you off and maybe positions itself like facing you now. Do you want to roll a check or maybe a body save to see if you're able to? Actually, sorry, we'll do a speed test because this is a blade to try to get the blade out before it shakes you off, so you still have your blade.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so you're not separated from your blade.
Yeah, I'd rather not be separated from my blade. And it's a success.
Okay, so you're able to like slide your blade out or hang on. It's up to you, but you're not separated from your blade. So wherever you fall and the thing faces you, you have your blade still in hand.
Can I still attack, or?
Yeah, I'll say it's time to go again. Do you want to attack?
Well, yeah. Being really arrogant and everything, I just strike with all my strength.
Okay, roll a speed check, please.
Yeah, am I still advantaged?
Do you have blades?
No, I have dueling.
Dueling, yes, that's right. Please roll with advantage.
That's a success.
Roll damage, please.
It's 14.
You get it. With your saber, you slash it. At the same time, though, it hits you with its horns, and it dealt 13 damage. Do you have any armor left?
I never had any.
Oh, you never had any armor. Okay,
No.
so how are you doing? You've taken a wound. How many wounds do you have now?
I have 1 wound.
1.
But I'm at top health.
Okay. You took your second wound. This is a wound that makes you drop what you're holding. So you drop your sword on the ground.
Oh no.
Okay, and we'll jump back to the action in the cockpit. Genmo's looking really rough. you know what, is holding his fist up, but also kind of now pleading for like mercy and not to. And
No, I'm in the
he kind of like gives up.
I'm trying to finish him.
Yeah. Okay. Edge.
Do I hear a little bit of the commotion outside? Can I take 2 actions like to well, I look at Master, or I look at Han, I say, "You got this?" And I suss out that he's probably chill. And then I'd like to disengage and then check outside and notice that Duke is kind of down bad skis fighting the Imago. And I'd like to either reload my gun real quick as I'm approaching, or actually just get involved in that action.
Do you have to how many bolts do you have on your character?
So that was a question I meant to ask for you before. When I looked at the gear, there was no bullets that came with. I wasn't sure if bullets were kind of quote unquote unlimited. They just came with the weapon.
No, so it's whatever came with the weapon, unless otherwise stated. So you just have, I think, 1 more bullet. On your character that's currently loaded in the gun. Okay, so you're gonna kind of go outside. Han, did you say you were just gonna, like, you're not hearing these pleas for mercy, eh? You're just gonna go for it?
I can hear him just fine, but I'm not listening.
Okay. Okay, so go ahead and roll an attack.
Speed, right? Okay.
That's right.
Advantage. I succeed.
Roll damage, please.
10.
10. Oh, dang.
It's 1d10.
Okay, so he's not going to go out without a fight. He succeeded, and so he's going to sort of like, as you stab him and like this kind of like mortally wound him, he's going to like kind of counterpunch you. So like whack you on the side of the head again. So you have like maybe the dagger that's like stuck in him, and he still kind of hooks you in the head and deals 2 damage.
Okay, well, all right, I'll take the 2 damage.
Okay, he succumbs to his wounds and like just like dies like on top of your dagger. His head like falls forward as he has like a death rattle. Edge, you stepped out, so from one end to another, this like open part of the deck is long range. I'll say that you've moved close enough to call that nearby.
Sure.
Go ahead and...
Do I need to do a speed check because he's kind of right in front of me and nobody's around?
That's right. You have Duke that's like currently like engaged with it.
Okay.
I'll say that you can fire on it, but maybe fire on it with advantage because it's like not facing you.
Sure. So speed check with advantage.
Yeah.
19. Dope. That connects. And so
okay, do you want to try rolling again to see if you get a
just in
critical
case
success?
It's a critical?
Yeah,
for sure. No.
So you succeed. Roll damage. You spend your last bullet.
6.
Very nice. You hit it in the back and it shudders or lurches forward. Good job, like you wounded it. It's still up. Now, Duke, you've been wounded. This thing is still in front of you. It was just shot. What do you do? And keep in mind that it will try to, since you're still close to it, unless you try to move away from it, it's going to try to attack you again.
Yeah, I kind of figured that. I eat 2 sticks of chalks.
Okay.
Okay. Firstly, would you describe the Imago as a character?
What's the rest of the spell description?
Well, target the caster or an adjacent character, transforming them into a nearby inanimate object for 30 minutes. The target can only move by gently wiggling along surfaces until the spell ends.
Interesting. Well, it's a non-playable character, so
it's a character, I guess.
Let's say it works.
Okay, so normally it takes 1 stick of chalk, but to cast a spell, it says that using additional sticks of chalks increase the number of targets, range, and or duration.
Okay.
So I eat 2 sticks and I try to transform myself and it into, well, what would be a natural thing to have on a deck? Maybe boys, maybe.
Yeah, there's also a dead body now. That's an inanimate object.
Well, I don't know. I don't think. inanimate object could be a corpse, but if you rule it that way,
rope maybe or something.
There's also the wreckage of the thopter, so it could be like a piece of that. But I understand what you mean. Like, you want to
just choose two funny objects, and we're both transforming into one.
Okay, inanimate objects.
Yeah, if my spell succeeds.
Okay, yes, please do your heart.
Okay, I guess if I have spell casting, I should
Roll
be
with
at
advantage.
right?
That's right.
Okay, so heart, huh?
Mm-hmm.
No, not even close.
Roll again.
Oh, I rolled twice.
You've already rolled the D100 twice?
Well, I have two D100, so I rolled them at the same time.
At once. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah.
sick. Okay, you failed both times.
Yeah.
Dang.
So basically, I'm just eating chalk.
Jeez. And I think that's a miscast too, right?
It is.
So here, I'll roll that 2.
That was a nice try though. That would have been funny.
Oh, interesting. A 2 on the miscast. So you were able to fix the mistake at the last minute.
Oh, nice.
So I think you're good. And what was the spell called?
Imitation form. And I won't be able to. I will be too clumsy to jump for 6 hours.
Ah. So I feel like you fixed the mistake at the last minute. I'm interpreting that as you ended
Turns
up
it into a success.
Yeah, you ended up succeeding the spell.
Oh, nice.
So one of you turns into like a safety buoy. Maybe that'll be you, Duke. And
Okay.
the Mago turns into a propeller from a thopter propeller.
Okay, so we both can wiggle along surfaces for half an hour, and then we come back to our natural forms.
Half an hour.
So
Okay.
there's a buoy that's wiggling on the deck.
Plus a propeller. Let's try to reach the buoy.
Okay, interesting. Okay, so that's what happened.
Throw the buoy overboard.
No, I'm the buoy.
Okay.
I don't know that you've done that.
Actually, wait. Why would there be a buoy? First off, so it wouldn't be a buoy. It would be maybe.
Yeah, there should be a buoy on the upper deck if we go down and somebody falls into the water or
in the
something.
water. Yeah. Okay. Sure. Sounds good. Good
I
enough for me.
wanna fucking throw that buoy. I have some payback. I'm looking for some payback right there.
Very cool. Okay.
Okay, I'm wiggling away.
So, you're wiggling away. Which direction are you wiggling, by the way?
Which way?
Yeah, which direction?
Well,
Towards edge or towards the left side?
well, not towards Han.
Okay.
Isn't that an Hayao Miyazaki movie, Wiggling Away? Just saying.
Oh, yeah, that's great. That's that famous studio.
Ghibli, yeah.
Yeah, Studio Ghibli movie, Wiggling Away. Perfect. Edge, you just saw this happen. How do you react to that?
Well, my instinct is to be helpful and actually like grab the propeller. I guess what I saw the Imago turn into, and actually just yeet it over the side of the side of the ship. I do know that it will come back to life or what have you in 30 minutes, but I figured 30 minutes of calm is better than 30 minutes of not.
That's true. It's been transformed, so you won't be able to harvest the chalk from it, unfortunately. That's 10 chalk right there. But
okay, maybe I don't. Well, that's maybe I shouldn't.
You know, as a bounty hunter, you know that there's 10 chalk in this thing.
Can you do damage to something while it's inanimate, or no? Is it kind of protect it?
Why not?
I put my revolver in my shoulder holster, and I take out this crowbar and
smash this propeller.
Absolutely, and Onion's kind of looking at me from inside, like, what the hell is he hitting? Like, what is he doing? My intention is just to maybe cause like some sort of hairline fracture in this propeller by just bashing it with my crowbar.
Nice.
The hell are you doing to my propeller?
So yeah, I'll just say you destroy this thing, and maybe as you deal enough kind of like damage to it, it ends up reverting back to its previous form, and so it's a corpse of a dead imago.
I will take.
Wait, hold on. Sorry, it's
okay.
change a character. No, I guess it will revert to a corpse after the duration of the spell.
Okay.
So you
So I
just
can
wail
put
on
it
this
in here.
thing, and it's a broken propeller.
I'm looking at this broken propeller and feeling very satisfied with myself. Like
Very
I've just
That's something good for the world. Nice.
exactly.
They've broken a propeller.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Oh my
Han,
gosh.
what are you doing? You just killed Genmo. His body is kind of just like slumped over. Maybe his head is like resting on your shoulder.
Yeah,
No?
I have a feeling he's not like a normal human, considering he punched me in the face and I felt it more than I should have. So I turn around and look at Stello and Onion and I ask them if they're okay, if everything's okay, and if they're able to steer the ship. And then I reminding them of the imago that was heading for the front engine.
That's right. Actually, there's a bit of like an explosion, and like the ship rocks a bit.
Okay, shit, I don't remind them of that.
Everybody knows what happened.
Right, they now know. So I quickly I frisk the body of Gedmo, try to figure to see if there's anything useful that I can take or
Well, there's the clay mask, which doesn't provide any protection, really. There's a cool fur coat that also doesn't provide armor right now. But as you maybe like rifle through it, you see that there's actually like a battle casing, which is like a armor suit underneath that fur coat. You also notice as you're kind of like looking over like the arms and moving them around that those are like brass knuckles that are hidden underneath the bandage wraps. And yeah, you also find like a map, and on the map like is a destination that's not too far from Tacktown, but it's marked with like a circle on it, and maybe a few other like points of interest are marked on that map. It's a map of the lowland wastes.
Okay, how long would it take me to take all of it?
I'd say a few moments, like just take it or like wear anything.
For now, I would take it, considering there's just been an explosion. Yeah, just take it with me.
All of the stuff? Okay, so if you do that though, you're gonna be like carrying all this stuff. You're gonna have both your hands occupied.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So you take all that stuff. Onion tells you that there's a scout thopter on the bottom of the ship, but it only seats 3 people maximum, and that's like cramped.
Can it fit 2 people in a buoy?
Definitely. However, there are more than 3 people still on the ship.
How many people are left?
So there's Sippa, Onion, Stello, and then the 3 of you.
Yeah, there's still
Yeah.
three escape pods. I tell Stello and Onion that it's time to. Don't you think it's time to evacuate the ship? And then we need to make a decision here. Who's gonna go where? Because I'm a Thopter pilot as well. But I was there when Edge actually pledged his allegiance to the Lordling, the Lord Sipa. So my guess is that, I would probably take Onion or Stella with me, or how many people can fit in an escape pod?
There's another
1?
explosion that rocks the ship
Shit.
from the other
Okay.
side.
Well, okay. So we need to evacuate, guys.
Stello will kind of like, if you're kind of like working this stuff out, he's gonna put his hand on Onion and say, Onion, you served me well, but you have to return to your family and go on other adventures. Carry on the name of the Bean Barge and your captain Stello, and never change, my sweet boy. Onion starts crying, like tears of joy. It's like, and he's an ugly crier, so it's just like weeping and like snot coming out.
I leave them to it.
Onion, that they protest, they also want to go down with the ship, but Stello insists and kicks Onion out of the bridge.
I will tell. So I do overhear a little bit of the the discussion about what's available, that there's one thopter that's under, that there's the escape pods. I do realize that at this point, most people on the ship are not going to get out alive. I know that the Lordling Sippa is sleeping, and I sort of see this as my opportunity. It's like, you know what? Maybe now I can take revenge into my own hands. I don't have to insinuate myself. I don't have to do this long con.
Nice.
We can leave her, or you know what? She's sleeping. Let me go take a quick visit with this crowbar and BRB, and that will open up a space on the thopter for us, and we won't have to worry about that. And I can explain in a diplomatic way, like after the fact.
Yeah, you got to do it quick, I think.
Yeah.
So I just want to repeat, there's a way for everybody to get off the ship safely, except for Stella. There's the thopters, and then there's the 3 remaining escape pods.
Yeah.
No, but I like the flavor. I like the flavor
So
of
it's up to you.
taking out a lord.
I just want everybody to be clear. Like that's still an option.
I wouldn't mind going down if it's a possibility. There's also the possibility that she's gonna stand up and fight, but if she's sleeping and there's a quick little opportunity to take her out and even take her weapon, because I know that she cut Lady Lace's or Lord Lace's throat, that would be a big W for me.
Duke has that saber.
Okay, Duke has it. Okay.
Yeah.
I would still very much like to enact my revenge if there's a moment of opportunity. Yeah.
Okay. Now you're gonna like quietly sneak over there. Is that what you're doing? You're kind of just gonna separate from everyone while others are. Is everybody heading down then towards the mechanical deck?
I'm not sure. I know that there's a buoy to pick up.
Oh right, Edge. Are you gonna mention that? Or are you gonna pick up?
Oh yeah, sorry. I've turned around very quickly. I'm like, oh hey, yeah. Beside that helicopter propeller that I just beat the shit out of, you might want to pick up that buoy. And you'll see why in 25 minutes. Yeah.
Right.
I pick up the buoy. I have a strong urge to throw it down, but I take it to the thopter because I'm a better man.
So you're gonna head down there. Onion says, "Hold on." Runs into the crew toilet, comes back out with a flare rifle, which is a relatively weak weapon, but it's still a weapon. And says, "Okay, ready to go." And so everybody else is going to run down. Does anybody react to Edge going to the observation room by himself?
No, this character, I don't even know what's in the observation room, to be honest.
We have the buoy that's being carried.
What do you do, buoy?
Do not take the escape pods.
So, Edge, you're going in there.
Mm-hmm.
Sippa is like recovering from her wounds. She's stabilized, but she's still recovering. So she would need help to get off this thing alive. Please tell us what you do.
So I approach her. Is she okay? I approach her. I have the crowbar in hand.
She's defenseless.
She's absolutely defenseless.
Utterly defenseless.
I'm so sorry. This town's not big enough for the both of us. And before she even reacts or kind of contemplates the absolute nonsense I just delivered, I give a very swift crack. This is so violent. Oh my goodness. I give a swift crack on the top of her head, and I think she passes out. I don't necessarily confirm whether, that's a full KO, but I'm satisfied that she's not going to stand up from that.
You're a bounty hunter. Like you're not a stranger to like taking a life. Is that right?
That's right.
Now, are you like a stranger to taking a life from someone like that's defenseless?
I imagine I've been in a precarious situation where if I didn't have to deal with something then, it would kind of get back to me later.
Okay.
So I think yes. Yes, I have.
You strike and effectively like knock out Sippa.
This wasn't a fatal blow. I just really wanted to assure that she was not going to reach an escape pod before the Imago either take over or the ship goes down, or both.
Great. So you wounded her.
I'm satisfied with my revenge.
Yeah, she's knocked out. Do you do anything else in this room?
A quick scan around to see if there's anything of interest. I don't think so. So then I kind of book it for the mechanical deck where I know people are.
She drops something onto the floor. And it's a crest on a chain.
As I hear the the not tinkle, what would be the word? The sort of delicate ringing of a metal crest hitting the ground. It quickly catches my attention, and I pick it up, examine it, and I decide to carry it with me.
Sorry, you do not examine it, right? You just kind of pick it up and go, or did you say you examine it?
I give it a quick look, but not enough
Okay.
to really identify what it is.
Sure. You're heading down to the mechanical deck?
Yep.
So you rush down to the mechanical deck. Before Edge gets there, what was the plan? Who's going into the scout thopter? Who's going into the escape pods?
I'm a buoy, remember.
That's right.
So
And
I asked the buoy what he wants to do, and then I decide. I'm going to the scout thopter with the buoy. I had offered Edge to come in the thopter. I can wait a few seconds to see if he goes in the thopter, it takes an escape pod, and that's it.
Onion is going to be really considerate and take an escape pod and just wish that you take good care of the scout thopter. Maybe
I
you
just
leave
crashed one, but I know how to fly them. I'll take good care of her, don't worry.
Maybe you say that as Onion is like launching. You volunteer that last bit of information. Wait, what? So Onion launches in the escape pod and everybody piles into the thopter. You know how to pilot these things, it's standard. You're able to get into the zone and detach from the underside of the ship and start this thopter that starts like flying.
Does it have to be recharged under a full moon too?
No.
I'm definitely going to tack down.
The Bean Barge is plummeting to the surface below. Captain Stello is going down with the ship. The Imago, that's a propeller right now, and Sippa are going to have a rude awakening, and we shall see what future adventures await you. Did Jesk, aka the monster, survive the escape pod landing? Did Onion survive theirs? Where is the wreckage of the Bean Barge? Will our player characters' failures and regrets rest there? What will Duke, Edge, and Han Loner decide to do as their thopter fuel dwindles? Don't worry, we'll check up on them again. The Last Voyage of the Bean Barge is a scenario written by Watt for their Cloud Empress ecological science fantasy RPG. Two of the best ways you can help the podcast are subscribing to the feed and telling your friends to check us out. Thanks to Epidemic Sound for our music. Check the show notes for credits. Most importantly, thanks to our players and listeners. Over and out.